My next guest has been on the receiving end of some colourful descriptions. Someone said she was like a demented floor mop with a voice like a fading air raid siren. She was also the biggest sensation to hit America since the Beatles. She is Julie Walters. Julie, I'm told you used to do impressions. Who were your first victims?
Oh, yeah, I did, yeah. Well, my granny, I suppose, was the first. Or God help us, may the great God look to me, you know. It was that kind of thing. She was Irish, before you ask. She was Irish. I used to do her. She was a wonderful woman, yeah. She survived 2 strokes. And my brothers and I used to say, at the 3rd stroke, she was 78. It's a great joke, isn't it? He was only 12, my brother.
What's he doing now, then? To scriptwriter?
He's a teacher. He's a teacher. I'm not going to talk about him because he always moans at me afterwards.
All right, then. Let's talk about your mum. She was like so many showbiz people. The mother was the driving force of the family, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah, she was.
What did you think about your ambitions and your achievements?
Oh, well, when I first decided to go into acting, she went mad. Well, I mean, it's quite understandable because we didn't know anything about the acting profession or anything like that. And she went bananas when I said I was going to leave nursing, which is a really, you know, respectable profession and stable and all that kind of thing. And I said I was going to give it up and I was going to go into acting. She went, absolutely. She said, now she sounds just like my grandmother. Yeah. It's not my fault. Yeah, it's very handy. Yes. She said, you know, oh, may the great God look to me, she'll be in the gutter before she's 20, you know. She was right, I was.
Well, yes, I mean, you lived in Soho for a while. That must have worried her.
Oh, Greek Street.
Yeah.
I lived in Greek Street. And I'll never forget the first time. I mean, I'd only been in London about a year. I thought, well, you know, she's got to come and visit, you know. So she did. She came, and I'll never forget her going to the window and saying, she said it again. Yeah. No, well, may the great God look to me, will you see what she's living opposite? And it was the Soho Sex Centre. Well, you can imagine. I mean, it was absolutely appalling to her.
It's all right now, though, is it?
Oh, yeah, I don't live there anymore. I live in Fulham. It's very nice.
Your mum is pleased with you now?
Yeah, now my daughter, the actress. Yeah. Have you seen her latest film? I've only made 1, but never mind.
Last time we met, if you remember, you were getting an award at BAFTA. An evening to remember?
Yeah, I didn't think you'd bring that up, actually, Michael. Were you there?
Slightly.
What did you get? No.
I got some pocket money. Did you enjoy it? Do you enjoy those things?
Well, yeah, but you see, all I had a drop to drink that night. I mean, I did. I mean, you have to admit it, don't you? I mean, the press were really sort of heavy on me after that, I think, really. They were kind of ringing up. See, what happened was, at the end, somebody came up to me, at the beginning of the ceremony, before it happened, a girl came up to me, one of the girls from the television company, came up to me and said, in the event of you winning, you will have to go upstairs. If you win, you'll have to go upstairs and meet Princess Anne. I said, fine, great, you know, she's my favourite, Princess Anne, you know. I said, yeah, fine. That was the beginning of the evening. And, of course, it went on for 6 hours. You know, and they go on and they're drinking and they, you know, and these men keep coming up, filling your glasses, and then suddenly you're up, oh, blimey, you're up there on stage, you know. And I thought, well, it's all right, I've seen these awards before, I've been to them, and I thought, you don't have to make speeches at BAFTA, I didn't think. But then suddenly there was a hand in the back. I went up there and there was a hand in the back pushing. Was it you?
No.
Yes, sure.
I had a hand in the back after you said made your speech, yeah.
Getting me on. Yes, I know. Yes, well, fair enough. So cool. Well, he knows how to hurt a girl. That's fair enough. Anyway, so, what were we saying again? Oh, yeah. What were we saying? So I
wasn't saying anything.
Yeah. So I went up there and did the doings. And I didn't expect to make a speech. And honestly, I'd made a few speeches about the same film before. Yes. I'd done all the thing about, thank you, Lewis Gilbert, the director, thank you. Without Lewis Gilbert, Dolly Parton would have been standing in my shoes, and let's face it, she wouldn't have fitted into anything else. I'd done all that. I expected a bigger laugh, actually. No, I've done that, and that's all right, because I have done it several times. So I thought, you know, well, as it came to this, I didn't expect to make a speech. And so, what can you say but thank you? It was a bit of a joke. Was meant to be a bit of
Of course it was. It was
and
very funny indeed.
Yeah.
No.
He was very witty then.
You've actually hosted, you've been on the other side, though. You've hosted the ceremony, haven't you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh, God, the Golden Globes. The Golden Globes in Hollywood. It's the Hollywood foreign press business. And I did it with John Forsyth, who's Blake Carrington in Dynasty. Oh, God, you can imagine. I was absolutely terrified of him. I thought, well, you don't cross somebody like that. You can't see him as John Forsyth. I only saw him as Blake Carrington. Absolutely terrifying. But apart from that, they write you a script.
In your style?
Yes, it was like Dick Van Dyke English. I mean, I love Dick Van Dyke, because, hello, Mary. It was that kind of, everything was, hey, mate, and all of that. And I'd never met John Forsyth before, but I'd met him very briefly, and I had to say, and it was all kind of, well, Julie, and well, John, and it was all that sort of thing, but it was all right in the end, because people made such long speeches at it that every time I went off, they kept saying, be really quick, so there was no time to do the script. They cut out most of it, so...
You really hit them when you got over there, because you went on the Johnny Carson show twice in 1 week.
I did.
How did you manage that? What did you do?
He took a bit of a shine to me, actually. He did, Johnny. He did take a bit of a shine. Well, first of all, I went on and I went rapping on about Hollywood. He loved all that, because I'd gone over there, they put me in very posh hotels, and I was met with a car that's bigger than my flat. Really, I could have moved in there quite comfortably, and my mother and my Auntie Agnes as well. He should be on drugs. No. And there was all that. There was all the luxury and all that. That was wonderful. Now, when we talked, it was with Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
So I went on there and I did all that. And then he asked me to go on again a couple of nights later. So I went on and he wanted me to go on about the Hollywood thing. So I went, my favourite subject was the old Beverly Hills Hotel, which is the big posh, it's like a pink cake in Beverly Hills. And we went. I went on about the pool, the swimming pool at the Beverly Hills, and around it were people covered in gold. Just covered. And I was going on and on about it on this show, and I was saying, and I said, just really ugly gold. I said, well, that here, it's not pretty, and why don't they wear their bank statements and a gold block on their heads? And I said, those people, they dive in the swimming pool. I said, when do they ever come up? All this. And anyway, we had a bit of a laugh, just like these kind people are giving us this evening. It was a bit of a laugh. And then a couple of minutes later, there were gales of laughter. And I thought, God, I got my dress on back to front, So they were really, And it would have been painful because it was backless. But they were going on and laughing. And then he said, then Johnny... as I affectionately call him, he said up next to me was Sammy Davis Jr. And he said, oh, Sammy likes jewellery. And I suddenly thought, oh, yeah, he does, yeah. I thought, oh, no. And Sammy said, and he showed me his hand, and he had some quite tasteful rings, on his hand. And I said, oh, well, that's it. No, Sammy, I'm not talking about that kind of thing. And then he went like that. And down came enough gold, enough gold to revive the British economy. On one hand, and then I haven't been on since.
He'll ask you back. But talking about people being overdressed, the people being undressed. Now
they're tight under the armpits. Yeah.
Yes. No, you've been working very...
I bought them today.
Yes. You've been working hard on a British film since you've been back here. Yeah. And I've heard about a naughty joke you played on the crew.
Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah, we did. Well, I was doing this film called, I better advertise it now because I'm sure the producers will be watching. She'll Be Wearing Pink Pyjamas, it's called. Anyway, that's what it's called. And it's about a group of women who do a mountain adventure course. And it was all done in the Lake District, which is fantastic, so beautiful. Anyway, that's not the point. Yeah, there was this joke we played. Well, it was about 8 women, so you can imagine we had a very jolly time. It was very jolly. And we were always having meetings about one thing or another. And then we suddenly thought, one night, we were sitting in the bar of the hotel. I never touch a drop. But I was drinking Perrier and everybody else. And we were sitting in there, and the sound department were in there, from, you know, the people with the headphones, and they're probably here somewhere. Anyway, so the sound people said, oh, they were having a laugh and saying, oh, it's the shower scene on Saturday, and we were saying, yeah. And in the shower scene, 3 of us had to appear, you know, showering. You can't be showering with your clothes on. We had to be showering and chatting, and it wasn't a sort of sexual scene or anything like that. Can I use the word sexual, Michael?
No, I'm sorry.
Really? Well, it wasn't an SEXUAL scene or anything like that. And anyway, so they said, don't you think don't you feel vulnerable having to appear with no clothes on and be absolutely uninhibited and they're washing away and chatting? Because it was like an after-rugby shower.
Doesn't sound like any rugby shower I've seen.
No, it won't. But anyway, we were all doing that sort of business. And they said, you know, it's not right, isn't it? Don't you think that the crew ought to be... You're only in a tiny space and it's not, you know... Don't you think the crew should be... And we thought, well, yeah. We said, yeah, they shouldn't have their clothes on. You're quite right. We've got to, you know, not only do the scene and pretend they're not there, but, you know. And so we said, why don't we say that Equity have passed a motion that if a number of women appear naked, you know, the same amount of the crew should appear naked as well. So, of course, we couldn't wait. And we went in the next day. It was the best jape. I can't tell you. It was the most wonderful day. We went in there were people in corners trying to negotiate money to take their clothes off. And there were people trying to put off the scene. The scene must have come, we put off the scene and it's not in our agreement, you know, in all of this. Anyway, we got into the shower room and then we had a bit of a cock-up. I'm sorry. That wasn't rehearsed, Michael. I didn't mean to say that. But we got in there, and of course, you know, it's a tiny room, and we're all in there, our dressing gowns looking, you know, very pretty, and, you know, waiting for the scene and loving the fact that they're all rallying about who takes their clothes off. But then the steam machine breaks down. The steam was supposed to make it look like it's full of steam. It's a smoke machine. Hopeless. It looked like it had come from the beginning of the Boer War. Hopeless. So what they did was they got 6 electric kettles in. And they were, we were waiting for ages. People were burning their legs on them. So it came to it, and it was like 2 hours late we were, because a new smoke machine was got in there, because the kettles were not up to par. And they got new, and then we said, right, and he said, right, can we get ready for the scene? And I said to the director, yeah, well, take your clothes off then. To the director, and he was saying, oh, you're not really going to carry this through. And I said, well, you know, it is Equity business, and, you know, it is official, and McNabb from Manchester will be over in a bit just to check that it's carried through, which was a sort of fictitious name that, anyway.
And did he do it?
No, he didn't, but the cameraman said, oh, God.